Hey everybody, I am Steven Wener of Whissel Realty, taking place for Kyle Whissel this morning, and we are on AM 1170, The Answer. I have some amazing guests this morning. We've got Mr. Jason Hall. Say good morning, Jason.
It's actually good evening, but it's all right, man.
Oh, forgive me.
It's all right, rookie.
I want
Mr.
it to be
Hall,
morning.
I'm your co-host in here. Let me give myself a little shout on the ding here.
That's right. We're not going to be in the morning anymore, but unless you're working nights and you're up now. So good morning to those people that work nights. We've also got Mr. Jeff Ackley in the house. Jeff Ackley is a CPA partner with Lindsay Brownell. So thank you so much for joining us this morning.
You bet. Thank you.
And this evening, if you're a night waker. And we've got Mr. Ty Summerlin this evening.
Hello.
Yes, he is a family CFO. We'll explain that in a moment. And he works over at HoyleCohen, so he's a wealth advisor. And we've also, in our background, we've got Penny Duane. She is working over at First Citizens Bank. And we really look forward to having her speak about what's going on in commercial, as far as the commercial lending world. So this morning, this afternoon, this evening, we're all going to talk sports. I really would like it to still be the morning.
We always talk sports in the beginning.
Yeah,
right?
we always do.
And Steve, you're from Canada. We were talking about this yesterday at our show. So you're a big hockey fan, but you guys had nobody from Canada in the finals.
Well, the only way that we can ever talk about that so I don't feel poorly is that most of the players are Canadian. So,
most of the players are Canadian.
yeah.
Hey, did you grow up playing hockey at all?
I did. Yeah.
All right. You're a pretty solid guy. You enjoy it?
I do. The toughest part that most people don't understand is if you're actually going to play contact hockey, it's a totally different game than just seeing people skate or pass around a puck, because you are being knocked around. So balance, toughness, just stick skill, hand-eye coordination. Most people don't even realize how tough that is. So yeah, I'm not going to say that makes it
So that's
tougher.
why you're so good at what you do.
No,
Yeah, he's knocked around, right?
Yep.
Being a real estate agent.
I haven't been beat up that bad. But yeah, it's a really tough sport. There are some people, what's really great about hockey in the past few years is so many people, more so on the West Coast. You find a lot of East Coast people are really into hockey, but hockey here on the West Coast has really been coming out. There's people falling in love with the game. The Kings have an amazing following. Unbelievable. So many
And
people.
so do the Ducks. The Ducks have a huge.
Not like the Kings.
Not like the Kings,
Really,
huh?
yeah.
Okay.
There are diehard Kings fans. Ducks, you can still get a playoff ticket. When they were in the playoffs this year, you could still get a cheap ticket.
Yeah, they went to like the semifinals, right? They were
They beat my team, the Edmonton Oilers. They took us out in
the quarters or whatever.
in Game 7. Yeah, I felt pretty bad, but I got to go to see some really great games over at the Pond in Anaheim, and it's great hockey.
All right. Hey, Jeff, you a hockey fan?
A little bit. I don't follow it that closely now. When I was in college, I went to the University of Wisconsin, and we had some pretty good teams. So I followed a lot of college hockey back then, and I go to a few Gulls games now, but don't follow it quite as close as some of the other sports.
But you are a Packer fan. You were talking about that during the break, right?
Absolutely, diehard.
So you were born and raised out there?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah.
So what were your favorite teams? What's your favorite memories on the Green Bay Packers?
Well, a lot of the recent ones obviously have been great. I remember I was very young at the tail end of the Lombardi years, so I remember my dad and my uncles getting together for games. And as the team was, after Lombardi left, as the team was starting to tail off, I remember my cousins and I had a cuss cup out every time the dads swore. They had to throw a nickel in the cup, and so that was as the team was starting to go down. So
that's crazy.
But some of the best memories I think were as the team started coming back. I was actually at the game when they made the playoffs again for the first time under Holmgren, and
So
Leroy Butler he started the Lambeau Leap in that game.
Wow. So you actually got to go to games? Because I heard it's really hard. I heard that's one of the toughest places to get tickets.
It is. Fortunately, my wife's from Green Bay, and her dad had season tickets.
So it's like it stays in the family forever, right? Like once you have them, you don't give them up.
Correct.
Right? It's like gold. It's like a gold mine that keeps paying. You're just never going to sell them.
I found that amazing, just how it's generational. Those types of teams, they've just got generational hand-me-down for season tickets. It's Toronto Maple Leafs, even though from a hockey perspective, they didn't do well for years and years and years. The people over there, it's the same thing. You just keep your tickets, period.
All right, Jeff, I got to ask you, as a huge football fan, I coach football at the high school sports level. Aaron Rodgers, one of the best pure quarterbacks I've ever seen throw a ball. but Brett Favre is one of the best ever as well. As a Green Bay Packer fan, who would you choose if you had to? If you had one game or one season, or if you even thought about it?
I think I'd have to go with Aaron just because he takes care of the ball better.
Yeah.
Brett might have been more exciting to watch at times just because you absolutely never knew what was going to happen.
I think if I needed a season, I'm taking Aaron Rodgers because it's the whole season. He's going to protect the ball better. But if I had one game and I wanted to have one of the best Packer quarterbacks of all time, I think I might have to put Brett Favre because he is the risk taker, right? He is, he's the slinger. I mean, he will throw any ball anywhere at any time.
Yep.
And that's what makes him great. But that's also what a lot of fans remember.
Yeah.
Is some tough shots there too. But
although I think one play, as Aaron has shown the last couple of years, Hail Mary, you might have to go there.
You're right.
Aaron for
You're
that.
actually right. The one play, he's been amazing on that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been amazing. He could throw this ball like 60 yards, and his guy catches it. When everybody knows it's coming, and they still are able to get it done.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But I'm surprised you guys don't have like 5 rings with Aaron Rodgers. Like, he clearly throws a better ball than anybody I've ever seen. He wasn't even highly touted come out of high school. He went to JC Community College.
Yeah.
Apparently, some wide receiver was sending his tape to a coach like, hey, can I get over to a better college?
Wow.
And the coach came out and one throw looked at Aaron Rodgers and said, that guy's going to play professional football. And nobody had even discovered him.
Yep.
And they got him over to Cal and had a great season, and now he's considered literally one of the purest throwers of all time. So definitely as a Charger fanatic myself for life, even though I'm a San Diego Charger fan, still don't know what I'm going to do about this season. I'm definitely jealous of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Unfortunately, when you talk about should have had more rings by now, I think the defense has been the weak spot. So hopefully they've addressed some of that this year.
And it's hard to play that. So if we jump sports, I want to get your guys' take on the basketball. So we just finished the NBA Finals. You're right. When you play offense, they're talking about, is Brady the best? Because he only plays offense. Is Rodgers the best? He only plays offense. And it's hard to carry a team when you only play one side of the ball, and you can be the best maybe it ever played. But now we talk about NBA, and is it fair to say, well, maybe LeBron's not one of the best ever because he's lost now like 5, NBA championships, but he gets there 7+ in a row, and he's like still scores 40 points and loses, averages the first triple-double ever in NBA history.
Yep.
Yeah.
What's your guys' take on that? Who do you think on basketball? Penny's got a hand. I'll have to ask her in a moment, but let me get your guys' take.
I mean, I'm not sure how.
I grew up in Houston, spent 27 years in Houston, and so I was always fascinated when the Houston Rockets won back-to-back championships. Back when the Dream Team was around with Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde the Glide. And so that's kind of where I stand in the basketball thing. I was really fascinated by the approach the Rockets took this season, just kind of laying out this dramatic 3-point strategy, and unfortunately that
falls they win, and if it doesn't fall they win.
Yeah, exactly. So that's kind of an extreme case, but I don't know. I'm a big fan of believing that teamwork makes the dream work, as we kind of say a lot just in life and at our firm. So I don't know how I feel about someone claiming to be the best or an entire championship riding on the merits of one athlete. It's just hard to make that case.
What do you got?
What I have is, it's true. It does take a team. I mean, LeBron is fantastic, but the team there were so many missed rebounds, missed free throws. You can't do it with one person. It has to be the team. And me being a Sacramento born and raised girl, I was crazy happy when Golden State did win the championship. So
something I can't remember who was talking about Michael Jordan, but it was the first year that they made it to the finals and they lost. And Michael Jordan was crying on the bus. And then he just sucked it up, told his story about what he decided to do, which was take over. And so, in a sense, one person can make a monstrous difference, how they can carry a team as well. Mm-hmm. If all of a sudden you see somebody's efforts just exceeding what you thought was humanly possible. And that's a real example. So sometimes people really will carry on one person, but they're hoping that will also be contagious.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to confirm that had to be one individual came in the finals, because Michael never lost in an actual championship series in the finals. Now, he lost in the playoffs, but he was 6 for 6. I mean, he did the championship 6 times. He won all 6 times, and he was the MVP of all 6 times. And that's why most people consider it maybe hard to ever take him off the top. It'd be the best ever. But I think you're right. He did lose a game, and that's what freaked him out. And that's when he kind of got together with the team and decided what they needed to do.
It was some Tony Robbins interview talking about Michael Jordan, so I don't know if it was the last championship or somewhere in the playoffs. But again, that portion pushed him to want to be even better. And although you've just got these people, it doesn't matter what professional sport you look at, when you're looking at the elite, and that's what I find so fascinating. It's so hard to get to the professional level, period. And then you just have these people that are beyond incredible, right? Yeah. Sidney Crosby for the NHL, same thing. He's among the top greats all of a sudden when you look at it.
Who?
What's that?
As a San Diego native, who? Sidney Crosby?
As a San Diego, I hope people would know who Sidney Crosby is. If you know hockey, you know who he is. But just it's fascinating to watch these unbelievable players pick up a team. Mark Messier, when he was with the Rangers, when they were going to win the cup, and he single-handedly said, "We're going to do it," and he drove the team, and he was the one who scored the winning goal as well. So it's pretty incredible what one person can do. You don't want to rely on one person, but man, is it ever contagious.
Sure.
Yeah. So with all of this sports talk, we're going to be going into a break here really, really shortly. So again, you're listening to AM 1170 The Answer. I'm Steven Wener, your host today for Whissel Wednesdays.